Greetings. A number of users of CurricUNET look at these windows here, these input boxes that are styled with these features very similar to, say, Microsoft Word, and think to themselves, well, this is maybe a little klutzy here, so I think I'm going to do this work over in Microsoft Word itself. And yet down here at the bottom of the screen you can see that it says in this help window, do not cut content from another program and paste into this area. The font and format will be incorrect. You must type directly into this area. And that seems very restrictive, and people are stubborn and want to do things the way that they're used to doing them, so they go ahead and pull things out of Microsoft Word. So what I want to do is kind of pull up a sample here, because here's the same information. If you look at the two screens, this one's got bold on the word introduction and italics on economy. That's consistent over here. We've got maybe an extra carriage return or something going on here. But otherwise, these things look about the same. We've got dysfunctional family, which is bold and italics, and Binford Tool Company is underline. So these things look on the screen as though they're identical. Alright, well, this field is built directly into CurricUNET, and so this is what's called an HTML editor. So we've got a tool here, a little mini Word document builder, if you will, that is designed right inside of the HTML Internet environment. Remember, this is all the way up here. This is inside of Internet Explorer. On the other hand, this is Microsoft Word as its own thing. So tell you what, let's just take, because they're clearly identical, let's just copy what was there on the screen, and let's drop that into this other field here, which is the lab content. It's a parallel field to course content. As you can see, it's the same kind of an interface here. We'll just paste that in, and if you look at that, it looks pretty much like it did inside of Word. So we'll save that for a second. And okay, that was a little weird, right? Well, the first thing I want to show you is that although this screen, if you look on it, and if we come back over to the course content screen, that was a little interesting there. That's what it does. It kind of shows some of the code in the background, but then it relaxes and shows what's on the screen. And so clearly this screen and the other one are pretty much the same thing. But what it was showing there in the background is this HTML code. And so behind this fancy little indentations on the screen is this coding, which shows, tells the computer how to make the indentations and the bolds and the italics. So if you click on that, you can see that this list over here, this outline, consisted of this amount of HTML source editor. These are called tags, and so this LI goes back to this this OL, and then this one says strong, this one says \strong, which is like to turn off that bold. If you remember, that word introduction was bold, so you can see it on the screen right here. And so that's how things work in the background. There's all these tags. So this is what it looks like in the HTML piece inside of CurricUNET itself. Now let me show you what happens in the Word section. Again, that looks a little scary, but check this out. If you hit that same HTML button, now that I've pasted in from Microsoft Word, check this out. Boy, look at all of that. Now all of this is tags and instructions and programming built into Microsoft Word for the exact same amount of text. So as you can see, there's a whole load of stuff that's out here that Word uses somehow to create the same thing on the screen as what this HTML editor does with just one little. If you remember, on the screen it only took up about this much of the screen, just all of those instructions. So clearly there's a problem, and with this much stuff going on in the background, you can imagine that the system itself is going to have troubles trying to process all of that. So within these screens here. I think I've hit save. Let me show you what happens on the screen. This isn't actually too bad. I've seen a lot worse. If you go to the course outline, remember those levels. First of all, we talked about A, and then it was A and 1, 2, 3. Well, when you look here, this field is the course content. That's the one we were typing into. But the first letter we used for the word introduction, which was bold on the screen, was a capital A. This is showing lowercase a. And then we had 1, 2, and 3 here. But now it's gone to Roman numerals. And the spacing's a little bit different. And the reason is that what's happening is that the tool here in the background realized that there was some other indentation, some other outlining going on of these uppercase Roman numerals, and then the capital A, and then 1, and then so it applied the next level down. And it could do that because it was using its own editor. When you come down to the lab content, you can see a couple of weird things happening. See how the font is smaller? It's indented differently. It starts with the letter A instead of this letter A, and I'm sure you'd agree that it ought to have the same formatting. It should flow as one document. There's some little things happening. There's an extra space in there that's kind of strange to see. There's extra space down here. And again, this is a pretty simple one. First of all, as it said on the screen, the formatting, the indentation, the typeface, those things are not the same, and these things need to be the same within the course outline because it's one document. But there's many things that people cut and paste out of Word that, with all that stuff I just showed you in the background, actually creates way more of a mess than what you see on the screen here in the Word outline. So let me give you a quick tutorial on how to do this pasting if you insist. I mean, really the best thing to do is to just paste the information directly into, or to not paste, but to work directly inside of these editors here. Okay. In other words, if you wanted to add, the Simpsons on here, you just hit return, and if you don't like that it's a 5, you want to back up a level, just push the little button and go back to the Simpsons, and then you push return, and then you want it to go into the numbering, and so you use this this indentation button here, and you say that it's a cartoon, and that it talk about its impact on society at large, or whatever it is that you're going to talk about, and then you can save that. So it's it's a little tedious, but it's not that much more so than inside a Word itself. Okay, so that information is in there now, but let's just go back and suppose for a second that you really insist, I went to all the work to paste this stuff in here, or to type this stuff in here, so now I want to paste that into this CurricUNET thing. So how to do it? Well, first of all, you have to be sure not to include any funkiness. You see there's a little dot here, and there's a little thing here, and if you turn on this little paragraph button, you can see that there's some things happening there. And in fact, this guy I built intentionally because a lot of people cut things out of tables. And so within tables, if we just turn on these borders, you can see that there's all sorts of weird stuff going on in there. And when this kind of thing gets pasted into HTML, it gets especially tricky. So I would grab from here to here. Don't go down like this, because you see how you grab the entire cells. But if you can grab from here to here and copy that, so just a Control C, and so we're going to go over here to Programs, and we're going to go up to Accessories, and then bring that down to Notepad. Now the problem with doing this approach is that you're trying to do it to save all your formatting, but when you paste in here, it's just text. This is no longer fancy tabs and indentations and stuff. This is just text. So we can cut that raw text out of there, and we'll put that back into this lab content instead. So let me select all of that and delete it, and then paste back in that text. And that's just A and B, and so we got to get to C. So we got to go back over to this Word document, and you got to grab this piece. You have to copy that, and you go to Notepad, and you select all that, and you paste it, and then you select it again, you copy it, and then you paste it, not there, you paste it back there. And then you're thinking, alright, I saved myself all of this effort, and so then I can save. And then, you know, if you look at the HTML, it looks less, although that doesn't look like what we saw in the other one. And if you look at the Word report, you're going to see that it's not quite looking right either. There's the content like we did before, and by doing a couple of clicks we added The Simpsons, there's a cartoon, impact on society at large, and here comes a lab content, and you know, check that out. It's got an A and a 1, 2, 3, and they're all in a row because those are just letters on the screen again. So I mean, if you're going to do this approach, then you got to complete the deal. We come back over here, and then you have to turn this into these auto numbering. So you push the numbering button, and you saw that it brought in some stuff, but now I have to delete the introduction, and so put that I back on there. So just let me walk you through this. You just push the delete button, it brings it up there and go like that, and you hit the enter button and tab that in, and that gets you the 1, and then so you put your cursor there and delete up to there and hit return, and that's looking pretty good. And then, you know, put your cursor here and delete, whoops, missed the I, go back like that, hit return. Now it says iPact, lovely. Impact. So then, yay, except that this is still B, so let's just kind of go like this, and then we'll go maybe one of those, and I gotta go like that to pull that back, and we go like this, and then pull all this off of here. So, you know, clearly this is just simple, no problems whatsoever. Actually, it's not bad. You're just gonna have to do, I mean, imagine a whole course outline. You should see some of the things like in anatomy. The course outline goes on for 3 pages or so, and gets really, really hairy. But you know, when you get done with all of this joy, you're gonna see, oops, there's Al, go like, oops, you're gonna see that this is gonna look better, but at what cost? Now if we just come down and remember to save this. Now that looked better. And if we go to the Word report, and then we look at it one more time, this should look beautiful. Course content looking good. There's the Simpsons lab content, looks exactly like it's supposed to. Okay, so moral of the story, you're going to save yourself a lot of effort if instead of messing around with all this pasting out of Word, you've just gone down this little help field here. Do not cut content from another program and paste it into this area. Either it causes a big mess or it causes you a lot of extra work. Best of luck. Enjoy your CurricUNET experience.